Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Right after Danny Garcia knocked out Brandon Rios, Errol Spence Jr. released a tweet that said, "These dudes so lame." Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, the channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, Brandon Rios versus Danny Garcia yesterday was a good fight. Thought it was entertaining. It served the purpose. Danny Garcia, it was a get back year for him, like Keith Thurman would say. He came out on top. I thought he looked good. He was picking his shots, used some lateral movement, showed he was the better boxer. But Brandon Rios gave it his best effort. He was valiant, and he was trying to make it hard and keep a pressure. You could tell he didn't want to lose the fight, so kudos to him for that. Danny Garcia just caught him slipping. Yeah, he came back with the lazy jab, and again, Danny Garcia has very good timing. Now, immediately following that, if you look at the timestamps, Errol Spence, he released a cryptic, vague, ambiguous tweet, and it just said, "These dudes so lame." Now, this is a little bit of speculation, but the Times, because I was on the internet, obviously, talking about all the fights and Sean Porter jumping in the ring on Danny Garcia. They were interviewing Keith Thurman. So all of this is going on last night. You know what I mean? Everybody was kind of seemingly in the house in the welterweight division, the who's who of the welterweight division, except for Errol Spence Jr. Maybe he couldn't make it out to Vegas. Maybe he didn't want to go. I don't know. But he put "these dudes so lame." So again, a little bit of speculation on my part, but I will say, based on the timing of it, it seems like it's obviously directed at somebody in that trio, if not all of them. I don't know. And I'm talking about Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia. Because this is after, like I said, Danny Garcia scored the knockout. Sean Porter started barking like, "Woo, woo, woo. You in my backyard." And Danny Garcia's like, "This my backyard. Fuck out of here." You know what I mean? This is Danny Garcia's show. You know what I mean? And Keith Thurman said his 2 cents, and Keith Thurman and Sean Porter got, man, it was lit. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman and Sean Porter started like being separated and all this type of stuff. And it leads fans. I posted this tweet on my Instagram. Make sure you follow me at Boxing Ego. It leaves fans, a lot of them, speculating and wondering who's gonna play at the playground with Errol Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else wants to play dodgeball. Everybody else wants to play foursquare and tetherball. And they don't want to include Errol Spence Jr. Or at least that's what it seems. I told you, in my honest opinion, I think Errol Spence has received a lot of fake call-outs. Like, if you have the appearance that you don't want to fight Errol Spence, then it's not going to be a good look for you. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're perceived to duck anyone, then it's not going to be a good look. We know that. So some guys are calling him out, but I question the sincerity of it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you really, like, he has, to my knowledge, he's fighting in June, and he doesn't have an opponent announced. So June 16th, most guys could feel that date. You know what I mean? Be ready by then. That's the summertime. So what's the point of calling him out if you can't make that date? You know what I'm saying? That's a true call out. Like, you really want to fight that person, and you can make yourself available and or be ready. So if you want to fight him in the future, then that's something different. Like, if you want to fight him in 2019 or something, call him out in 2019. That's how I think of it. But I feel bad. I feel bad for Errol Spence, because this is just my personal opinion. This is not, I've talked to Errol Spence multiple times, but this is not information coming from him. I'm just giving you my perspective. The reason I feel bad for Errol Spence is because I truly believe that when he was fighting the Leonard Bundus, the Chris Algieri's, Phil LaGreco, who Amir Khan's currently fighting, right? When he was fighting like those caliber guys, nobody really gave him true credit. They're like, oh, okay, He's a hot prospect, backed by Floyd Mayweather, who's giving him the cosign. Guys like Freddie Roach, Adrian Broner told you he's a good fighter, so we're not going to give him too much credit. Like, I'm talking about more so the detractors and the haters and the critics, not like reasonable boxing fans, because reasonable boxing fans realize these guys, it's just like Ryan Garcia, Shakur Stevenson, or whatever. When you're coming up the ranks, you're not going to immediately be fighting for a title. You know what I mean? You have to be realistic. But the point being is, when he was fighting the LaGrecos and the Bundus of the world, Algieri, some of those guys had losses, things like that. And people didn't want to give, the detractors didn't want to give Errol Spence like true credit. Like, oh, okay, Chris Algieri, he lost to Pacquiao and got knocked down 6 times. So even though he got stopped by Errol Spence Jr., Pacquiao had already beat him. Chris Algieri had already lost to Amir Khan. He damn near lost to Ruslan Provodnikov, depending on who you ask. So they didn't want to give him credit. So I truly believe that Errol Spence Jr. probably thought, I'm gonna keep hunting down this IBF title, which I'm in line to get a mandatory shot, a shot as a challenger. And then he eventually got that with Kell Brook, and we know how that fight played out. He did it by going to the UK. I really think that he believed once he nabbed that title, now there's no way that nothing could be said about me. Now there's no way that guys can duck me. Now there's no way that I could be avoided or disregarded or put on the back burner in the same way as when I was fighting Phil LaGreco or Chris Algieri. That's what I truly believe. So I think it's disheartening that now that he's a champion and he holds a title, and it seems like it should be everybody in the division who's at that level, the championship level, and or has a belt, it should be their priority to want to unify, and he doesn't feel like he's being invited to the party. So that's just my personal opinion, and I don't blame him. You know what I mean? You think, you know what I mean, like you get a promotion at work, you're like, yeah man, I'm gonna be able to pay my bills and my life is gonna change because I'm gonna get this good promotion. And then you get the promotion and your life doesn't change. You know what I'm saying? It's not what you expected. You're still having issues paying your car note on time or whatever. You know what I mean? That's just a loose analogy. But I think that's what it is for Errol Spence. He thought, y'all motherfuckers can't deny me once I get this title. And people are still finding some way to leave him out and X him out of the conversation. And what I mean by X him out is they're not calling him out, as if they are calling him out, it's definitely not with the same level of pizzazz and the same level. It's like people want to see, like, for example, Sean Porter jumped in the ring. He was barking, screaming at Danny Garcia. Sean Porter, he told Keith Thurman he wanted, give me some dates. Let me know, like, what's good. So people want to see Sean Porter carry the same energy when it comes to Errol Spence. Danny Garcia, former champion with the WBC, only lost to Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia is like, oh, you want some work? Fuck out of here. And he's talking to Sean Porter in a certain way. He's being asked by Jim Gray if he would rematch Keith Thurman. And he says, yeah, he would love that, but it's on Keith Thurman. Does he want the rematch? But he's not. Is he carrying that same energy when it comes to Errol Spence conversation? Same thing with Thurman. Thurman's entertaining the idea of taking this get back tune-up. And then when it comes to a fight with Sean Porter or Danny Garcia, rematches. So mind you, we've already seen these once, right? This is not brand new. We've seen Keith Thurman, Sean Porter the previous year, 2016 or whatever, and the 2017, we've seen the Danny Garcia fight. So he seems a lot more open to that. And then when it comes to Errol Spence, Errol Spence, everybody wants to see that. Let it build. It'll happen when I say on my watch, and he can wait. I had to wait. Everybody has to wait. You know what I'm saying? It's more so that. So I think that's why people are mad. Like, they're like, how could Sean Porter jump in the ring, but why didn't no one jump in the ring on Errol Spence after he beat Lamont Peterson? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the logic from the fans, and it makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? It makes sense. You want to see people with the same energy. Like, if all the welterweights have the same energy towards each other, then why not include Errol Spence? Why act like he's doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? So that's my speculation on maybe why Errol Spence put these dudes so lame, because it's a lot of theatrics amongst each other, but you don't really truly see that with Errol Spence. It's more so people have different points of views as to why they don't need to fight him in the near future, or why he has to keep doing more. You know what I mean? And people have to keep in mind the Keith Thurman Errol Spence fight has been built. Like, this is not just when a lot of people are mistaken into believing that the fight came about, or the potential fight talks came about when Errol Spence became a champion, but that's false. Floyd mentioned this years ago. You know what I mean? And he's since fought himself and retired and all kinds of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But Floyd mentioned these two fighting. He's like, why don't Keith Thurman fight Errol Spence? That's a good fight. You know what I mean? So they've been linked. The names have been linked to each other. And like I said, I really believe Errol Spence thought that at the time, Keith Thurman was like, oh, Errol Spence has to do more. He's a solid fighter, but he has to climb up the ranks. I didn't just get Floyd Mayweather or the people I called out. He has to prove himself. He has to go ahead and keep working, get him a title. And then he got that. And then nothing's changed. Now it's like, oh, I'm injured and he got to do this and he has to wait anyway. You know what I'm saying? It kind of reminds me of Amir Khan versus Kell Brook in a sense, because Amir Khan was on the Sky Sports show with Kell Brook, and they were talking about fighting on that show. This is a long time. I mean, let's say 2013, 2014. This was a long time ago, and they're both on the same show, ringside or whatever, talking about a potential fight. And then Amir Khan was like, "You want to fight me? You got to do something. Fight a champion. You ain't fought nobody. You have a bunch of nobodies on your name. Blah blah blah." And then Kell Brook eventually, over the years, he did that. He did fight for a title, fought Sean Porter, got a title. And then Amir Khan was asked, if you read interviews immediately after Kell Brook became a champion, and then he said something else. So it's like you changed the goalpost. Amir Khan was like, oh, Eddie Hearn and Kell Brook are being disrespectful, so I'm not giving them the fight. You know what I mean? But that's not what you said. You didn't say nothing about the disrespect. You said, go get you a title. You need a name on your resume. Once you have a solid name on your resume or a title, I'll fight you. And I think that's kind of how it is. Like Keith Thurman, he said Errol Spence has to do something, build his resume, and he's done that. I mean, his last two fights have done that, clearly. And he's a title holder. So you can no longer say that, but now it's something else. So I think that's where fans are. People are just, again, wondering why the welterweights have a certain energy, and then when it comes to Errol Spence, putting him in the equation, which would be amazing if they did like a Super Six. If they took Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, and then three other top level welterweights, and they did some kind of Super Six, it would be amazing. But it looks like we're far from that. So Errol Spence says these dudes so lame. Let me know who or what you think you're talking to. Obviously, this is not conclusive. He didn't call out names or anything, but this happened immediately after the Garcia Rios and the video surfaced with Keith Thurman interviews, and Keith Thurman and Sean Porter going at it, Danny Garcia and Sean Porter in the same ring. So it leads me to believe that he's talking to one, if not all of them. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.